Welcome, parents and students. This is the remembering side of tonight's homework. Unit 2, Lesson 5. It says, write an equation and solve the problem. Number 1, Sarah picks 48 apples. She puts 6 apples in each basket. How many baskets does she fill? So it looks like a division problem because we have the total, and it's going to be an equal groups problem. So we have 48, which is the total number of items or the total number of apples. And she put 6 apples into each basket. So the group is what, class? What kind of group is this? It's a basket. It's a holder. And so we know that she's going to put 6 apples into each basket. So we don't know. So the size of the group, or the amount of the items, is 6. And the question is, how many baskets does she fill? So if we write the total and divide by either the size or the number of baskets, we will get the answer to their question. So if you know your sixes, then you know that 6 times 8 equals 48. So 8 baskets is how much Sarah needs or to fill. So the number of baskets is the number of groups. It happens to be baskets. So we can go ahead and draw 8 baskets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then we draw little connecting lines to each one. And there's 6 apples in each basket. Remember, the circle represents the number of groups, and the 6 is the number of items inside each group. So try number 2, and then let's go with number 3. Gibson has an assignment to read 8 pages in his reading book. It takes him 2 minutes to read each page. Each tells us multiply or divide. How many minutes will it take him to finish reading the assignment? Well, that's an interesting problem. You need to know how much time to set aside for your homework. So this is how you do it. 8 pages in his reading book. He has an assignment to read 8 pages in his reading book. It takes him 2 minutes to read each page. So it's an equal shares problem, equal groups problem. So it's 8 pages times 2 equals 16, and then we can box that because that's the label. 16 minutes. It takes him 16 minutes to finish his reading assignment. Okay, try number 4. Now solve. Circle what type of problem it is and what operation you used. So here we go. You have to choose for number 5 whether it's an array, equal groups, or area. And then you have to decide whether you multiplied or divided. So the area, well, that gives it away. It's going to be an area. The area of a paper is 80 square inches. If the width of the paper is 8 inches, what is the length? All right, on a scratch piece of paper, we know that area is measurement. So we know that on this rectangle, the total is 80 square inches. That's in the middle. We know that the width of the paper, the area of paper is 80. The width of the paper is 8. And the question is, what is the length? So we have a missing number here. So if you have the total and you have one of the sides, then you divide. So 80 square inches divided by 8 equals 10 inches. So what do we do? Well, it involved area and it involved division because we had the total square inches, but we were missing one of the outside dimensions. Okay, the desk is in 6 rows with 5 desks in each row. So the word row means it's an array. How many desks are in the classroom? We don't know the total. So if you don't know the total, oh, you know what? Yeah, it's an array. So if you don't know the total, and we can do, remember we just did the fast array on the other side. We have 6 rows, and there's 5 desks in each row. What we're missing is the total. So if we have the 2 outside numbers, we can multiply. So it's array multiplication. So 6 rows of 5 equals, what's 6 times 5? You can just count by 5 6 times. The answer is 30. And then our label is desks. And is that a reasonable answer to have 30 desks in a... Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, now write a word problem using 7 groups. Solve your problem. Okay, so we did this in class. We kind of brainstormed. What kind of groups can we have? We can have boxes. We can have baskets. There's infinite amount. We could have friends. We can have a dog. We can have a car. Now, boxes of, and what's the item? Boxes of crayons. We can have baskets of apples. We can have friends who have toys. We can have dog that has 4 legs each. We can have a car that has 4 tires. So write a word problem using 7 groups. So you can, let's do the top one. Joe has 7 groups or 7 boxes. And then you just decide what you want. You have to have 7 boxes or 7 baskets or 7 friends or 7, you know. And then you can just make up the other. How big, how many items are in each box? Has 7 boxes of pencils. There are, and decide how many, think of an easy number. There are, what, 7 times what? There are 7 pencils in each box. Now you have to think of a question. And you're going to ask what the total is. Because you have the group, you have the item in each box. So now this times this equals the total. So 7 boxes times 7 crayons or 7 pencils equals 49. So how many pencils does Joe have in all? All right, good luck. Try number 2 and number 4.